I think some note taker. Oh, is that okay? I think it's recording now. Maybe Adam started. Adam, are you here? Nope, not yet. Okay, so while we wait for Adam, or maybe I'll just call him at Slack because I don't know if he has the link to the meeting. Okay. We'll be starting in just a few minutes, waiting for everyone to gather. So you guys can warm up on chat and, I don't know, say whether you already tested the new updates and if you play with Alice version 5 already, or you haven't had time to check it out. And we will be trying to get some things from you today. We want this to be not to be a presentation rather than just a chat, and also getting some information about what you want to have in Alice in future versions and what you want us to prioritize right now. But obviously we have something prepared for you, so we'll start with some basics with version 5, and hopefully we'll have some meaningful discussion from everyone here. Okay, so hold on. Let me just send the invite link to Adam, and we're gonna get starting. And the first thing I want to tell you and show you is actually a short video that Adam created. Yeah, a moment ago I've created my first assistant. Okay, so you're that's a beginning of the beautiful journey. Mateusz is currently trying to make Alice work with Asana through Make, as Asana MCP is not supporting external clients. Well, yeah, Make and Asana are also a difficult couple. It's definitely a hard nut to crack because I don't know. I tried it with Asana, and it sends so many events, so many webhooks, so many things are happening. So it's really difficult to work with this in automations. But hopefully they change something. Greg is asking whether it's possible to work with a Circle. I think so, because a Circle has quite a good API. And there's a lot of things that you can get from Circle API, including a lot of different stats about the users and their activity and how they engage with your courses and stuff like that. So basically, it's like it is possible, and it's also like quite robust. So you can. I don't think that they have MCP server just yet, but I'm pretty much convinced that you can do a lot via API. However, I think, I'm not sure, but you have to check it, but I think that the full version of API is available for the enterprise customers, and we do have an enterprise plan for Circle, so I saw that it's working, but I don't know whether you have it, and it is pretty expensive. So there are some limitations to the API. All right, guys, do you have any questions for now, or shall we begin? Adam is with us, and
hey.
Yeah. Hi, Adam. I will first I will start from I think it's recording. So I will start with the video that Adam created, and we translated it with HeyGen. So it might see you might not hear Adam exactly as he speak, but basically this is a version that I will play back, and this is about some basics of Alice version 5. It is 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna show you some features that I like, some things that I got from Kuba, from Patrick. They send us quite a lot of very interesting stuff. So I will show you some things, and then we also have another demo from Adam about the docs in Alice, about the new old feature that allows you to connect the docs, but this time to link it with Alice. So yeah, we're gonna have that, and hopefully we'll have a nice discussion about the features and the things that you guys use. So I'd love you to prepare some things so that you can explain us your workflow. We specifically want to know what are you missing from Alice right now, and what you think, or what you want to do with Alice, and you're not sure whether it's possible or it's just like it's not available in Alice just yet. So please do let us know. In the meantime, we will be available in the chat. So yeah, so this will probably address a bit later, and I will start with the video that I got here. Okay, that should be this one. Okay, okie dokie. I hope that you see it. I think that you'll be able to hear it as well. So we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Hi, let me show you now how the Alice app has changed in version 5. First of all, assistants are no longer called assistants, but agents. This means they natively have access to a range of different tools and modes, which are triggered automatically during a conversation, as long as, of course, the given mode is active. So, for example, if the image generation mode is active, I can paste a photo of my dog here and ask to add a hat. Send hat. The agent will independently decide that it's about generating an image using the reference photo I sent along with my message. And we can see that in this case, the Nano Banana model beautifully made my dog, Nicholas. Similarly, I can also link my files here and even link entire directories. And right here, with the help of Link Folder, I selected the directory where I store my notes related to the Obsidian application. This means that all the notes I have here are now available to my agent. So if I now ask to list my 3 values, the agent once again decides to search through my documents. And indeed, here we have those 3 values listed as part of the conversation. What's more, if the folder has been marked as writable, I can also ask to edit these documents here. Since language models as artificial intelligence can make mistakes when saving files, we have a prompt here to accept these changes. And we can see that there's another item here, which of course I can edit if I need to. After saving the changes, the file has been updated and I can continue working. It's also worth mentioning that when it comes to the number of directories added here, there are basically no limits, because searching and loading them is based on agent logic. Long-term memory, which is assigned to this particular agent, is also based on agent logic. You can manage memories from this view, where I can add new entries or edit existing ones. Besides that, I can also create new memories. This happens when memory mode is active, and I simply ask to remember some information. Here we have confirmation that the note has been created. And indeed, if we go to the Memories tab, we can see a new entry created just a moment ago. This means that if I now, in a completely new thread, ask a question about the app version and somehow suggest that it's information we discussed earlier, the agent will search its memories and find, in this case, the information we talked about in the previous thread, which, as we know, is normally inaccessible from the model's perspective. However, here, thanks to the use of tools related to long-term memory, it becomes available. We were able to access that information. However, the information we care about won't always be previously saved, whether in memories or, for example, in files. It may turn out that we'll need to find it in the message history, which in Alice's case is stored on the computer. Of course, we can use the search engine here, but we won't always remember which thread contains the information we need at that moment. In such a situation, all we need to do is activate the history search mode. Thanks to this, if I ask about previous interactions, the agent will search through the conversation history. And as we can see, this may take several or even dozens of steps, and then it will tell us exactly what it managed to find here. So we can see that in this case, we're talking about one of the tools used in their work. We even have details here about the configuration, and of course, if needed, I can add a follow-up question here, which will allow me to return to earlier topics. And let me just remind you that the conversation history here is not only unlimited, but also stored on our computer. This means that Alice connects directly to the provider, And as the creator of this application, I have no access to your settings or your conversation history. However, of course, you should remember that when working, for example, with Gemini models, this information is sent to the server, but in this case, we're talking about Google servers. Moving on, we also have the code interpreter tool here, which allows the agent to write and execute Python code. And here, when it comes to capabilities, they're very extensive and also include the ability to process documents. In this case, for example, I can upload photos and ask to extract the color palette from that photo. To do this, the agent will write code, which gives it access to precise information about the colors used, in this case, on the AI Devs 4 landing page. We can also ask it to generate documents or, for example, to modify them. In this case, specifically this image, but not by regenerating it using generative models. Graphics, but more like, for example, file compression. So if I ask here to optimize the graphic and reduce its size, once again, we have code execution here, Python, and a link to download it. The graphic was undoubtedly reduced here, and its size was also optimized. This is, of course, just an example, but it shows how we can generate and modify documents, even including the ability to visualize data or, for example, process CSV files. And since we're already on the topic of data visualization, there is another tool, Artifacts, which you might recognize from other interfaces for interacting with AI. Namely, I can ask here, for example, to generate a game that I can then play right away. Generating a game like this mainly demonstrates the capabilities we have at our disposal here. The point is that AI can use JavaScript technology to visualize data for us and present it in an interactive form. Because this way, for example, we can generate a quiz or paste in a fragment of an article or some documentation and ask for it to be presented in a graphical form. And here we have a quiz where we can answer the questions and then we can get feedback or even send the answers back to Alice. So we can see that my results were sent here and Alice gave me feedback about my knowledge of AI. This kind of learning can also be further enriched, for example, by the ability to explore individual topics independently. Although when it comes to this independence, if we activate history search here, then the agent, even though there will be a branched thread here, in other words, the branch located here is theoretically something completely different from the branch in this place. The agent will still be able, for example, to reach that message as long as we ask it to. This way, we can gather information from all the branches and continue the conversation, or learn in whatever way is most convenient for us. And finally, we also have the ability to control the tools connected to ALICE, as well as to connect external tools using the Context Protocol Model, or MCP for short. Admittedly, this is currently an option mainly for more advanced users. However, if we know how to connect such servers, it is definitely possible here. Then we can simply interact, for example, with tasks we've entered in the Linear, Todoist, or ClickUp apps, but we can also ask for modifications to be made on our behalf. Additionally, version 5 also supports MCP apps, which means the ability to display interactive interfaces designed by the creators of a given MCP server. In the context of working with the tools themselves, more and more people are learning that AI agents, they function best when the number of these tools is kept to a minimum. For this reason, it's a good idea to create agents that have their own dedicated tools and instructions on how to use them. Then we can either switch to a specific agent, or when multi-agent mode is active, simply ask our active agent to perform an action. At this point, and here, for example, we're talking about checking the current price of Bitcoin. Since Alice doesn't have access to this tool here, she decided to communicate with Ellie, who then performed the action and brought the result back to Alice. Such an action can also be performed in the background when we suggest that the agents be called using a separate thread. So here we can see that this time Ellie wasn't displayed as a separate message, but rather as a signaling block, a call to some tool. In practice, the task that Ellie carried out here is actually a new thread that was created right at this point. So we can see that here we can have conversations with individual agents, operate in different modes, and also configure cooperation between agents. All of this is really based on providing a good description, suggesting what a given agent does, as well as giving instructions, which, by the way, we can generate with the help of an interactive creator. At that point, it's the model. It will ask us a series of questions about the agent we want to create, and then give us the option to install it. So I think that's about it when it comes to the capabilities of the new version of Alice. Of course, everything we've seen so far are just simple examples, because these tools, since they're used by agents, can be combined in various configurations. However, I'll be showing that on other occasions. In the meantime, if what I've shown so far has impressed him, or suggests that Alice might be a good fit in your case, then I invite you to visit the Hey Alice app website, where you can simply download the app and start a free trial period.
Yep. So that's it for the first overview, for the first video that we have for you. Hope you liked it, and I have quite a few other things to show you. Curtis is asking whether you have to explicitly ask the agent to call another, or it can guess.
Yeah, it can guess based on its description, but keep in mind you need to have enabled multi-agent mode. It's about this icon near prompt input. Yeah.
Yes.
If you can.
I will. Yeah, I'll share my screen so you guys can see. By the way, if you are new to Alice, I don't think anyone here is, but maybe there might be quite a few people. I bring Alice over with Command-Shift-D. You can download the new version straight from here, from heyalice.app. You can go to all downloads and then download the version that fits your system. And then if you are using Alice already and you don't know whether you have the latest version, just close the app or just right-click here and reload it. I sometimes use it if it's kind of like, if it's buggy or something. I also sometimes reload it so that you know how to do it. And now that we have it, if you want to call an agent, I usually use their names because they are quite descriptive for me. Like I remember the names. But if you use their, if you ask to call project manager for easy, it will also be called. So just make sure that you have this name and description that, it's similar to what you ask for to call someone. I will show you in a sec how it works. But like Adam said, and I couldn't figure it out from the beginning as well, you have to have this multi-agent thing enabled. And it's also in the tools that you will find it. So you just activate the multi-agent tool. And from my experience with the version 5, it is best if you have the multi-agent enabled for all agents that you are calling. So let me show you a pretty cool example here. One of the nice ways to showcase some of the new features. So basically, Lou is my project manager for Easy, and he has some system prompt. What can you do? He can tell me some accounting stuff. He can tell me something that requires some calculations and planning the project and execution of the projects that we do in Linear. He has some actions. For example, he can create tasks. He can sum up the cycle from a screenshot and things like that. But basically, he doesn't have much knowledge about creating anything else than like statuses and stuff like that. Definitely not, for example, social media. But he has some docs connected, and Adam is gonna explain a bit more about docs later. But I have this doc connected here. If you go to Docs and Manage, in version 5, there's quite a few new great features, and Adam will explore this link folder, for example, and how to synchronize your files. But basically what you do is you drag and drop files here, and then you organize them into folders. If you don't know this yet, you can edit the content and the description of the file. And this is quite important because from here you can also delete the files and stuff like that. But this is quite important as Alice is basically taking the name of the file and also this description as something that she scans if you look for some information. And the same happens for the assistants that we call agent now. So whether you have docs here or you have agents here, their description and their name is something that Alice is looking at when you ask her for something, and then she can, for example, guess that this file would be appropriate to call and to read and to bring into conversation. So, for example, this guy, he doesn't have any files in the context already, but he has this EasyStats file, the CSV file that I connected to Lou specifically, and he can read our stats. So if I ask him, can you read the stats and give me GMV chart for 2025, then a few interesting things will happen. So first, Lou is going to grab the file, because I don't have to explicitly say that this is stats CSV or something like that. Then he's going to read the documents. Oh, by the way, this, I don't know why I enabled code interpreter for him, but for some reason it's there. I don't think it would be useful there. So basically the tools that you have enabled, they will take part in in replying for your query. So in this case, he decided for some reason to use code interpreter and probably write some Python script that will analyze the file. And as you can see, he brought into the conversation entire document and read the entire document that he has access to. So this is pretty cool because I know exactly that the whole file with all the numbers was brought into the conversation and into the conversation window, and that he understands it well. I don't know.
Yeah, let's wait. Yes, I'm curious what will.
Yeah, I'm curious as well, but I don't usually use a code interpreter for this assistant.
Yeah, when working with CSV files, it's a good idea to have a code interpreter enabled. Try to download it.
I have it. So that's it. Yeah.
So you have a visualization. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, if I disable code interpreter and ask him to try now, he don't have access to this feature, and instead he will probably try to use some other features that I have enabled. And in this case, it's artifacts that he's using, and this is pretty cool as well, because most of the time artifacts are something that is really nice in the conversation. Because it will generate like an HTML CSS version of the chart for me probably, and the artifacts are also new and you have to enable them explicitly. So I have those enabled. And also please remember that if you have an assistant, then if you click on his avatar, then you can decide that this, for example, docs mode is available by default, and also that the multi-agent and also artifacts and stuff like that. So code interpreter, I had this off, but basically you can decide here so that you don't have to enable and disable this for each conversation that you have. Okay, he finished here, so let's go back and see how this looks. So there is the chart with the GMV and the pretty nice table that he brought. Looks pretty cool. And as I mentioned, this assistant, well, from here also you can copy that, you can download it, you can download the image. This, I don't know even what it does. Okay, you can see the console as well. Nice. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's for debugging purpose.
Yeah. So yeah, for example, and I will show you an example of an interactive thing that he can generate here. But as you can see, looks pretty nice. By the way, one of the cool features of Alice version 5 is that when you make the window a bit bigger like this, you can also change the size of the window inside, of the text inside. So, for example, here it makes sense to make it a bit wider, and if you have quite a lot of text in here, it's also pretty helpful so that you can see clearly. And okay, so he gave me the charts. He read the file, so that you can already see that he used the docs. He used the He used the artifacts, he used Code Interpreter, and in this simple query, he used all of those different tools, and also he kept the context of his personality, which is pretty nice because we are still in the context of easy. And as you can see, I was very laconic, but I didn't ask about, like, I asked specific question and then I just like asked him to try now, but I didn't have to give all the context to this assistant in order for him to kind of figure out what I want and do it really well. But like I said, he doesn't have any skills from like social media and copywriting. And I think that's a great idea to have it as like a LinkedIn post that we can publish. So this is where I can call my other assistant. And I have quite a few assistants here, but one of them is May, and she's a marketer that I use for Easy. So she's basically Lou's friend from marketing department. And I can ask, can you ask May to create a nice LinkedIn post from this? And now, as you can see, I called her by her name, which kind of makes sense for me because I remember the names of my assistants. And he successfully spawned the assistant, and May has completed the task. If you take a look at this, basically she has some guidance in what way she should write those posts, and this is exactly how I'd like it to be. This is even with the exact hashtags that we use, and obviously May has access to some other tools that she might be willing to use in this process. So, as I mentioned, Lou has some access to documents, and May also has some access to documents, but those are different documents. For example, I have a document with current trends for LinkedIn and X and some other platforms that I researched with Gemini. And then if she wants to get some broader view and some more knowledge, she has those tools available to her. Well, not only tools, but also docs, but tools as well. And actually for the tools, so Lou just went back and he said that it's ready. And I have quite a few assistants here, but most of them, they don't have any keys like to my tools. They cannot communicate with a lot of MCP servers, and I try to do it very specifically. And I try to keep all of the login details and the passwords and stuff like that available to only one of my assistants, the general assistants I have. And this is really useful to kind of like have it organized that way, because for a start, it's way faster. So the other assistants work pretty fast. And now I can call this assistant. And by the way, I can do it specifically by pressing add. Okay. So if I press add in any conversation, I can bring anyone to the conversation. So I can bring any assistant to the conversation. But I can also ask Lou, and this is specifically if you don't remember the name of the assistant or the description, but I can ask Lou, can Foxy publish it on Alice LinkedIn, please? Yeah. And then he will probably spawn a Foxy. And the cool thing about Foxy is that she does have the keys to my LinkedIn. Or maybe not. Okay, she failed to.
Not anymore.
No, I think it's different server. So
yeah.
she tried to use.
That's correct. And actually, this is what Caritis is asking for. What we had here is when Foxy was called, in the background, all the tools Foxy is assigned to had to be enabled.
Were triggered, yes. As well.
Yeah, were triggered. And this is why some of this server, which probably isn't authorized anymore, throw an error. So, yeah.
Yeah, but she should have the access. So, I don't know. Let me see. Because that was basically, she should be using a different server now.
Sure.
Yeah, but I have it here. Well, I don't know. she does it successfully, but like you said, those have to be enabled in Foxy as well, and this is pretty important. So the first thing I noticed that for it to work properly, you have to make sure that both Foxy and Lou have multi-agent enabled, and I don't know why, but it works. Yeah, it works.
It's pretty reasonable because you may want to exclude some agents from the team. It's like some of the agent may be called only by you, and
yeah, makes sense. Okay, and then also she has to have those tools enabled. So in her properties here, I do have the default MCP mode and also the default multi-agent mode for it to work properly. And then any other agent can call her and actually collaborate with her. So that's that. And like I said, sometimes I just use @sign so that it's kind of like easier for me to select the agent that I want to call if I don't remember the name. And then you can, more or less it works very similar. Although
it's actually it's just for the user, because underneath the model can figure it out based on this assistant's name, which assistant to call.
Yeah, another cool thing that I wanted to show you, if she writes a poem for me. Okay, maybe longer. So that we can read. And with this, it's a really cool feature that you pulled out from. It went viral on X, but I like it and I use it for Alice as well. If you have something that you need to read as a reply from Alice, it's as easy as pressing the up arrow. So I just, by the way, in Alice you can do a lot of things with the keyboard. Probably everything that you need you can do only with keyboard, and it's pretty handy. So if you press up arrow and down arrow, you will just select the messages, and now all you need to do is press R on the keyboard. Once you press R, you go to focus reader mode, and this focus reader is set for me for 650 words per minute, and I don't need mouse at all. I just press space bar and it starts the focus reader, so I can read much faster. It's a pretty cool way of reading, to be honest. I'm at 650, working comfortable with it. I don't know how many words per minute you will end up with. Adam, what's your number?
I guess something around 300. Because
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't go too fast.
With 650, I'm comfortable with reading most of the context. I might miss some words, but I tried to do it at
maybe
like
it's
900.
It depends on the content, because if you read something like difficult, you need to understand it works different way.
Yeah. And but it's a really fun exercise to try. We
reinvented teleprompter.
Teleprompters. Actually, so just remember.
No, ale ja nie mogę tego znaleźć. Tego podajnika nie mogę znaleźć. Jak to się nazywa?
Hold on, Robert, are you talking to us or to someone else? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Bo tu mi podpowiada, ale tu mi podpowiada jako strzykawkę cały czas.
Okay,
ale to jest do tabletek.
Hold on. Let me
cały czas mi wszystko pisze, co szukam.
You have to unmute Adam, because I had to mute all of us.
Sure.
Yeah. So basically, press the up arrow, down arrow, then R on the keyboard and space bar, and that's it. And you write and you read. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I love it.
And when it comes to this keyboard navigation, you can also press keys like backspace to remove the message. E to edit it, and things like this. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah. So Carol has a few questions. Why to copy? Do you plan to release a mobile app for iOS, Android? No. Short but concrete answer for now. And if you want longer context, we don't really have the resources to maintain the mobile app. It's just basically Adam working on Alice, and that's already quite a lot of work. So no, we don't plan it. But also there's like a more practical reason. We really think that everything we do here, like copying, pasting, building things, interacting with Alice, this is productivity, and it happens on a desktop. It doesn't happen on a mobile app. And for the mobile apps, I'm super comfy with just, chatting to Grok and ChatGPT. Those are really great apps, and they have a lot of resources to work with them. And when I really want to work and I want to have everything in one place, then I work on desktop. So we feel that although everybody is, and we've been requested mobile apps many times in the past for different projects that we run, and usually when we launched mobile app, really no one used it. So people wanted to use it, but
yeah,
they
that's
didn't.
true. The same is with Raycast, I guess, because they launched Raycast Raycast mobile, and it's like
yeah. It's I have it, but I don't use it at all.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so basically, be careful what you wish for. We are aware that you won't be using it, so we are making you actually a favor. And we are pretty much convinced that Alice is mainly for productivity. This should be the main purpose. And actually, you can connect it to mobile devices. You can connect it like Adam does. He has Apple Watch connected to Alice at all times. And I also...
but you need to be a programmer for this, because it's a simple concept, because since Alice can access, for example, particular directory, as I will show in a moment. You can also vibe code, like for example, Apple Watch app that connects to a remote server where those files lives, and you synchronize them with your Mac or PC, and it's pretty much that's it. And
yeah, but
it's technical, I think.
Correct, but it's super easy for you to and I have on my iPhone, I have a shortcut on a home screen. You can set one of the buttons on the home screen, on the lock screen, to a voice memo, and then you can easily record voice memos from your phone, which is pretty cool, because later you can just one click, and I do one click export it. So you just click on the dots, you share it to your computer, and then you put it to Alice, and then you can, and then she can work with your memos as well. So that might be a cool case study for someone that I don't know what she does right now. She's putting she's putting my voice note in context of a longer poem, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. The audio transcript seems unrelated. I wonder, they might want to incorporate that part. So I'll focus on making the poem longer. But she transcribed the voice memo that I put in the chat. So basically, when you're on a walk and you're like, you have some idea, something that you want to brainstorm with Alice later on, you just record a memo, you send it, you share it, and then you bring it to Alice, and she will transcribe it, and it can work in the conversation. So that's pretty cool. And I think I will use it more often. So can you use Cloud Code on Alice? Yes, you can. Can you showcase that, Adam? Do you have any specific showcase with that? And we will show. We will maybe play back the second video that you sent, and then we can showcase Cloud Code. Is that okay, Adam?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. And if you have any more questions, I will just quickly check the chat. Yeah, I think that we are all good right now. Okay, so let me show you. Let me stop the screen share. Let me show you another video that Adam did, and Hagen graciously transcribed. I don't know whether you spell Alice like Alice again, Adam. Apart from that, your English was perfect, but Alice, I don't know. I don't know. It was not great. Let me share it once again. And someone complained about the video quality with the previous one. I can disable this optimize for video sharing. Hold on. I don't know. This might best video sharing. No, it should be turned on. Okay. So let me bring the other file and play back it. So that's docs.
One of the most interesting features of the Alice app is the ability to connect your own documents, specifically text files, such as, for example, Markdown or CSV files, and even linking entire directories. When a given file or directory is activated for a particular assistant, it gains additional tools that allow it to browse the contents of these files during the conversation, and in some cases, even modify them. So if I now ask to list my 3 values that are located in the docs directory, the assistant will use the available tools to first search through the accessible files and then read their contents. In this way, we received a response here, the content of which was generated based on the contents of the values.md files. However, this document had to be found beforehand, and this search was carried out based on my query. This means that I have to ask my questions in such a way that the agent can actually understand that in this case, I want to search the documents and look for certain words, keywords that matter to me. In the event that my initial search query lacks sufficient precision, it is entirely possible that the end result would be that even if the document is currently stored within the connected directory, the automated agent would unfortunately still remain unable to successfully locate the specific file. In that case, we would have to make our query more specific, or specify the file name directly. So it's a good idea to be precise, especially since, as we can see from this example, it doesn't have to cost us much. At the same time, there's no doubt that much better results can be achieved when we are aware of what is in our file database. The best way to know what's in the documents we're working with is simply to create them ourselves and build up our own knowledge base of knowledge. So let's now see how we can go about creating such a space of knowledge that will be accessible both to us and to our assistants, AI. So what we'll need here is a folder, for example, called Work. Now we need to connect this folder to the Alice app using documents and the ability to sync folders. Here, I simply open this folder and I get a message that it's currently empty. Everything checks out, but even so, I want to connect it to the app and enable the ability to save and create new files inside it. The last step is to make sure that this folder is accessible to the assistant I'm currently working with. Additionally, the document mode needs to be enabled here. If everything is correct now, I'll be able to request the creation of a sample file, inside which some example content will be saved. However, before such a file is created or edited, the assistant will ask us for confirmation. Once permission is granted, the document will be created, and we can see it right here with the content we just requested. Now I can even start a new conversation, meaning start everything from scratch, and ask to read the contents of the files located in the folder directory. The agent will once again use the available tools here, and then answer my question. Everything checks out here, so we can start another conversation and think about how we can use all of this now. I think we can try something simple here. So I'll ask to create a daily plan file, in which I'd like to include 3 or 4 questions that will help me plan my day. These questions should be based on, for example, best practices from books like Deep Work and Atomic Habits. Just before sending, I'll add a request here for the file to be created in the work directory, and I'll also switch to the Cloth Sonnet 4.5 model. This is a model with slightly greater capabilities than Gemini 3.5 Flash, and its responses are also significantly more expensive. At this point, I'll accept the proposed changes here and will open this directory using the Obsidian app. Here we see a series of questions that, even at first glance, definitely encourage us to reflect more deeply on what we want to accomplish that day. This means I'll have to devote a bit more attention to them, so the result I work out here is something I'd like to record in some way. However, I wouldn't want to do this entirely on my own or in an unstructured way, so I'd like AI to help me keep some kind of journal. To do this, I'll need to discuss here the rules we'll follow when recording my answers. Specifically, here's how we'll do it. I'm now going to ask for a series of instructions that will be used by the AI. This is so that I can be guided through this series of questions one by one. And when we finish the planning, I'd like the result to be saved in a directory with a folder named after the current year and month, and the file itself should be named after the current day. We have a proposal here to accept, so let's just see what has been added. We go through the questions one by one, then wait for the user's response. Once we've collected all the answers, we save the complete plan in the following file. Everything looks good here, so I approve the change, and indeed, the file gets edited. Now I'm opening a new conversation, and theoretically, we could already start talking about planning the next day. However, the problem is that the current assistant has no information that when I say I want to plan my day, the assistant should first read that note. But in order for that to happen, and so I don't have to repeat every time that this file needs to be loaded, we can go to this assistant settings and edit its system prompt. This prompt can be saved, for example, right here. And simply inform the assistant that every time I ask about daily planning, the assistant should read the document we have here and follow the instructions contained in it. So let's try to see how this works in practice. I just said that I want to plan my day, so the expected behavior from the assistant is to first read the contents of this file, and then guide me through a series of questions. And here we have the first question, to which I'll answer that our meeting today is the top priority. Next, the assistant should ask me another question, which indeed was asked here. So I answer the next question by saying that to prepare for today's meeting, I can reschedule other meetings, or simply cancel them. This way, I'll answer the remaining two questions as well. So now the agent should create a new file for the given day, saving my answers. After accepting the changes, that's exactly what happened. And here we have a note from today, along with the answers to each question. This is exactly how I can plan each following day. And for example, at the end of the week, month, or for instance, ask your assistant at the end of the year to read the notes we've gathered so far, and then, for example, reflect on whether we could have done something better or simply enjoy what we've achieved so far. Meanwhile, here we actually have a response that only concerns this one note, but the operating pattern is the same here. So here we can see how, in a simple way, I connected a folder to the Alice app, and then let's say I taught my assistant how to behave when I asked to plan the day. However, it's important to remember that adding such instructions can't go on forever. This means that the more instructions there are, the harder it will be for the assistant to navigate all these commands. That's exactly why it's a good idea to create new assistants who can be specialized, for example, in planning the day, or for example, entering notes about our workouts, diet, or any area of study or interest that currently has our attention. Besides that, if we go back to the conversation we just had, we can also use additional modes here, such as, for example, artifacts, in order to ask the assistant, for example, to first read our progress from the past week, and then, for instance, visualize it with the help of a chart. And here we can potentially see what something like that might look like. We can download such a document to our computer, or also ask the assistant to use the code interpreter mode and, based on this data, for example, prepare a PDF document. So I think it's pretty clear here that the possibilities offered by the Alice app are extremely vast. Ultimately, it all comes down to our own ideas and how we want to organize various processes for ourselves. What's more, I'll highlight here the stage of developing this document where the language model was a huge help to me. This means that we can use AI and the Alice app not only to carry out certain processes, but also to create and optimize them. As for this demonstration of capabilities, in this case the document-related functionalities, I think that's about it. To wrap up, I'll just add that in all of this, one thing plays an extremely important role. It's choosing a text editor that allows us to edit documents saved using Markdown syntax. This way, not only will artificial intelligence be able to navigate the contents of these files, but nothing will stop us from adding our own notes as well. And while on one hand this seems obvious, on the other I think it's not entirely so. It's obvious that you should choose and configure your tools in such a way that using them is enjoyable and encourages you to keep working. That's all from me for now, so let's head back to the studio.
Okie dokie. So here we have it, the docs, which is pretty impressive. I love this feature, and I can also add something from me. I will show you my screen, and that was pretty dope, Adam. You even learned how to pronounce Alice correctly. So pretty nice. I'm sending you the YouTube versions of both overview and the docs video. I think they are still processing, but they will be much higher quality. Yeah, if you had some worse quality now, you can definitely check them and listen to Adam's HeyGen version once again. Now, to reply those two questions from Pavel and the one from above, like the early in the chat. So the difference between the docs and the internal memory. So let's go ahead and kind of like wrap our head around it, because what we have here is some pieces of information that we can bring additionally to the context of Alice, right? So let's see here. There's quite a few things that we can use, right? The first is the memory.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I thought your screen is off.
No, I'm good. I'm just on the tab. So if you don't see my screen, just switch on the next tab in Zoom. So we have quite a few pieces of context that we can deliver to Alice, okay? First, obviously, is what we write as a message, right? Okay, so we can obviously set the stage with some text that we put here, or some audio or some file that we include. Of course, we also have the prompts that are brought from assistants, so agents now. And also we have their skills, right? So we basically can stack together a lot of things to the context from the message, using the prompts of agents and skills, and everything is in one context window. But then we can also bring some other things like memory. We also have this history search and the docs. The memory feature is specific to an agent. And I think that this is how you should perceive it. So memory is basically connected to an agent. And
there is, if I may, there is one more thing about memory, which at least of today isn't a part of history search or docs, and this is something called vector search or semantic search, which means that in case of memory, there you may ask or when you speak about some kind of a concept, those concepts not necessarily needs to be connected in terms of the way the words or keywords are written. Instead, it works this way that the model can figure it out a similar concept in terms of meaning. So, for example, if I speak about dogs, and I have or assistant has memories about cats, it will figure it out. I'm talking about Help me, Greg.
Sorry,
I was
somewhere else.
dogs and cats are.
I think cats. Let's go with cats.
Yeah. I mean, those are familiar animals. This is the what I was looking for. So yeah, it's about a concept, right? And this makes overall search accuracy much better, but also much more limited in various ways. In, for example, how big or how long a given memory can be, and so on. So the best way to think about memories is some kind of information agent can recall. But this retrieval process happens not only based on keywords or actual content, but also based on the meaning.
Yeah. So what you have here is I asked Foxy to remember that I like sweets in this order: brownie, cheesecake, and tiramisu. And she lied to me that she had. Well, she didn't lie. She did remember this for this conversation only. So if I ask her in this conversation, of course, what's my favorite sweet, she will know, right? That brownie is the first. But even in a longer conversation, of course. But then, unfortunately, if I ask in the new conversation, then she won't know this, even though I ask her to remember, right? Chocolate, gummy, and pastries. You liar. I like gummies though. But we have two conversations now and two separate context windows, and she doesn't remember a thing that I wrote in the previous one. Why is that? Well, this is because I didn't enable the memory mode, okay? So if I enable the memory mode, then if I ask her to remember something that I like animals in this order, dogs, cats, and spiders, then she will first need to confirm whether I like to save it as a memory, okay? Did she save it? Yes. And this is specific to an agent that I'm using, okay? So in this particular case, if I open a new conversation with Foxy, the same assistant, what's my favorite animal? And I make sure that the memory is enabled, just to make sure. I will ask her to recall. She will recall from her memory, and
no memory is found.
Why? Okay, let me check.
Yeah, go to the memory tab and see.
Foxy was told that Greg likes animals.
This should work.
So, but basically what you have here is she saved this memory in, and she assigned it to Foxy assistant, okay? So she categorized it. There is the content, and I can change the content if I don't like spiders anymore. Yeah, and I prefer turtles, then I can save it like that. I don't know why it worked. It used to work.
Try again, because I'd like to see. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have no, you have OpenAI key, so this should work. Yeah, I will look.
But never mind. But usually it really works well in terms of that. I have some memories about me and my family, and Foxy knows it, and she's recalling this pretty well. While if I would be talking to, let's say, Sally, she wouldn't recall it at all. Okay, but the thing is, so the memory feature is tied to an agent, and then if you go to this memories tab, then you can see what agent has what memories, and you can edit, you can delete, you can create new memories from here, or you can just ask Alice to remember something, in this case Sally, and she will remember that for if only the memory mode is enabled, okay? But then so this is memory, and those are usually very short pieces of information that we give. For example, that I live in Warsaw, I'm 39. I have 2 kids. It's like, and all of those memories are stored as a very short memories that she can bring when she has this mode enabled. And then there is history search, which is a new feature, and this is available to all agents. So this is just one agent, and this feature is available to all of your agents. So presumably, if I go to let's say Amy, let's try it. What's my favorite cake? But I first need to enable this feature. Oh, I can't because there's no tools enabled. Okay, so if I enable history search, then Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can ask about my favorite.
We spoke about that. A phrase we spoke about. Because every time you use any kind of model, not just Alice or interface, not just Alice, but also Cloud Code, Cursor, or ChatGPT, you need to ensure your queries are explicit enough to tell the model what to do, and check what she did. Yeah. She tried to search a memory, but you may ask her for search harder or something like this.
What?
Search harder.
Okay, search harder. Yeah. Search harder. That's a good way to make her think. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah. And this is why the model, and this time it succeeded.
Yeah, now she knows.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know how to talk to her.
Yeah.
Search harder.
And pretty much this is how this work. And this is not just about history search, but also docs and documents and things like generating images and so on. So sometimes if you don't have any result, it probably means that model did something wrong. It may be sometimes a hallucination and mistake, and sometimes your query may be not explicit enough or specific. Yeah.
So usually when you, for example, when you know that this should work in Alice, what I usually do is, because many times I use a bit faster models like Gemini 3 Flash, or just like mini or nano models for calculations, but they are certainly not a great fit to work with those a bit more advanced features like the history search and like MCPs.
Code interpreter. Also, models performance really degrades when the context gets bigger, a conversation gets longer. So you need to keep in mind that it is in your interest to keep the threads as short as possible. So hit new thread button as often as you can.
Yeah, this is actually good. Think harder. Ultra.
Yeah. By the way, this is actual feature of, as I recall, Cloud Code, because it literally matches those keywords to adjust what's called reasoning effort. Yeah. But it doesn't work in Alice, at least not directly.
Okay.
But you can try it.
Okay.
Open a model list instead. Model list.
Yeah.
You can adjust reasoning effort here. It's off, low, medium, high. It will vary from model to model, but it's pretty much what you just wrote. So it's think hard, think harder, and so on.
Yeah. Still not right. Okay. Nice. So now about the docs. Okay. So this is actually the distinction that we made. Okay. So memories are short, categorized, and then assigned to one agent. Then history search is across all the agents. It's just in Convos. So basically, Alice takes into account the whole history of your conversations. If you go to the history, you have all those convos, and basically it's really nice to have them because she's searching with the content, but also the title of the conversation. You might be willing to adjust the title, so you might want to change it to something more meaningful if you want her to find it faster. But this is
you may
good.
Also you may also pin like a star.
Yeah, you can also
threads.
start some conversations.
It works really nice. I like this.
Yeah. So about the docs now. So docs are available here, like we've shown. For example, with this guy. Okay, let's go to Lou once again. He has some, or maybe Amy. Okay, she should have some docs enabled about Alice. And then if you go to manage, obviously you need to turn them on. And then if you go to manage docs, then you'll be able to create folders and simply drag and drop those MD files or some other files that you will just distribute across those folders. And you might say that those docs are local to Alice because they are being saved in your Alice's files in your system. And they're not dynamic in terms that you can edit them, of course. So you can edit the description and you can edit the content. And again, I really encourage you to have both the title and the description a very well written, so that Alice knows that this file is appropriate for what you want to ask about. But then here you have the content of this file, and you can also edit it in Alice. It's slightly easier than, or you might also have a shortcut to Alice's files so on your desktop and then edit from there with your favorite, code editor or CLI, whatever. But basically, you can edit those in Alice. But you might say that those are files that are local to Alice, but they are available in all of your agents, right? So the same files I have enabled for Amy. I have 3 files in Alice folder. I can enable for Foxy. And those very same files will work for Foxy. Now, of course, I have to ask specifically. Can you tell me Alice personas? Okay, and she reads the documents, and then now she can accept the personas that we have in the file, and she can reply with her observations, which is pretty cool because sometimes you want the same files to be accessed with different agents via different agents, simply because the master prompt for the agent is different and the purpose for the agent is different. So the same question that I will ask to May and to Foxy, and if she has access to the same documents, the answers that I'll get will be completely different depending on the on what they do, what kind of work and what kind of master prompt they have. So it's really interesting also to see how this works. But you can definitely connect those files to multiple agents. So all agents can use them if only you enable them. So you have to enable the docs and you have to point them to the right agent. But then you have docs that are, you might say, local. And this is also the answer to a previous question on the chat. So someone asked, T asked about the privacy. How does Alice care about privacy and anonymity? So basically, Alice is private by default, the most private that you can get from an app like this, because Alice is a desktop app. That's the first thing, that it's not it's not by default running in a browser. So it's not sending any events in the browser and no one can capture them. And it's not cloud-based by default. And Alice doesn't have any cloud, actually. She doesn't connect to any of our services to store data, to send us messages. Everything is kept private on your local device. So everything stays within your configuration files. You can find the path in the docs, Alice's docs. and everything stays there, including your conversations, and everything is private. So we don't have any knowledge whatsoever about your conversations. The only thing that it's being sent to is obviously the provider of the model that you are using. So if you're using GPT, this whole conversation obviously is being sent to OpenAI.
But you can use apps such as LM Studio or Ollama to load local models if you have a hardware to run them, and they will automatically appear on the list in Alice, so you can use the entire features and chat and so on entirely private way. Yeah, so I will link to those apps.
Yeah, so you can connect offline model as well, so that you can disconnect from internet entirely then and work locally with Alice with all those features, and she will work great. But those models that are not the best. If you want the best from the best, then you obviously use something like OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google or xAI. But then also there is this privacy thing that is better addressed via API than in the native apps. So basically the privacy policy of ChatGPT is worse for privacy than the privacy policy of OpenAI API that we use here. So that's simply because, in ChatGPT you have to disable some features not to use those data to train the models. Also, you have some. Well, they can still remember some of the information, but using the API, it's much more secure, and it's basically much more private, and all of the biggest enterprises use it via API as well. That's why the privacy policy is favorable for privacy in Alice. So I think it's still better than ChatGPT app or Claude app. It's still much more private. So then you can have files that are kind of like synced but that also brings one small disadvantage to Alice, that we don't keep your conversation, we don't keep your assistants, anywhere in the cloud. That's private to you. So this also means that if you break your computer and you lose access to your files, then you'll have to recreate everything because everything is local. And of course, you can back up your files once in a while. I think that Alice even has such option, Adam, in the settings somewhere you can.
Correct. You can go to the settings and export them.
Yeah, export the settings and just keep it somewhere safe. Or if you want, you can synchronize this folder with Alice's settings with some kind of secure cloud that you want to use, and then you'd be able to do it. But basically, it's private by default. And even those synced folders are private because those are basically folders. If you go to Docs and Manage, and you click on the link folders, well, it's not that it's a cloud folder, although it can be. If you connect it, for example, to a Dropbox folder or Google Drive, so you can have a folder that points to Dropbox. So if I select this Dropbox folder and I open it with Alice, then it will be synced in Dropbox, while still it will be linked to Alice. So when you link this folder, it means that Alice will listen to all the files and file changes inside of this linked folder. And this means that if you change, like Adam showed you on the video, if he was working in Obsidian and he was modifying files from Obsidian in this linked folder, then Alice have the recent knowledge of what's been changed, and she can also change those files. You don't have to have Obsidian necessarily. You can work with some other apps. Like I'm working with IA Writer. It's IA Writer, the app. I like it. It's great, and also it has all the files that are synced to my to my Apple storage, the cloud, and then Basically, it's available on all of my devices, so I can type something in on my iPhone or iPad, and then it's accessible. And if I connect this folder to Alice, this iCloud folder to Alice, like that with link folder, then I could be typing on my iPhone, and then Alice knows it immediately and can work on those files. So this is pretty cool, and that's how you can also organize your work with your teammates as well. So you can keep the procedures, the important work files in one linked cloud folder, and then everyone can contribute and synchronize it. If you really want this to be done properly, well, you probably need to have a repository in this folder as well, so that you keep the version control. So it can be GitHub or something else. GitHub, of course, can run locally as well if you want it private, but it can be put to the cloud, and also you can collaborate and diff files and not overwrite your work and stuff like this. And it all works within this linked folder. It's pretty cool. So I really recommend you to explore this feature. And this is those synced files, synced folders. So from the folder you have all files that are synced. Syncing, and then they can be cloud based. If you connect some kind of you can connect your own server as well to synchronize it, but it can be like a Dropbox or Google Drive, and it will work really well. And I don't think that any app has this feature. I don't know if Claude has it or ChatGPT. I think no, they don't. So it's pretty unique.
Linking? I don't think so. I guess Cloud Code or open code tools like this that lives in the terminal, they are not natively connected to the file system of your computer.
Speaking about Cloud Code, Adam, do you want to do a short demo of connecting Alice to Cloud Code?
Okay. I can.
Okay, hold on. I will just, Curtis, you were asking about those videos. I put them in the chat below, so you have them already. Yeah, KJ, same. Then do we have any more? Yeah, that's about it. So you can show your screen, and I'll be back with my screen because I have something to share as well later on, and you can.
I sent a request.
Yeah, got it. Try again.
Hold on. All right, so hold on. All right, so there is a thing called Agent Client Protocol made by Zed that allows me to make Alice to be connected with Cloud Code. So normally, if you need to or want to use Cloud Code, you open terminal and start a session. But in case of Alice, you can simply go to the assistant. This one is created, so we can start from scratch and create a new agent, call it Claude, and scroll down to the bottom, and here you have Cloud Code agent, ACP. And for the first time, you need to ensure you have Node.js installed. So Node.js needs to be installed on your system. And then you need to follow those instructions. So two packages has to be installed. And then you need to run Claude at least once, because you need to either connect your API key or a Claude subscription. Then you will be able to specify a folder. It may be this I showed on a video. And after creating this assistant, I may switch to it and simply chat as if I had a Claude session here. So show me the files from working directory you have. And what is happening here is basically the same thing as if I type something here. But there are some limitations because, for example, I can call files here, and this works perfectly. But in terms of, for example, some kind of settings, like I don't know which one is missing, to be honest, but some of them are missing. And sometimes, like for example, I guess it's auth or logout. Things like this are missing, but everything else is pretty much the same. So here you have an option to switch the models. Here you can connect MCP servers and switch modes. But as you can see, most of the features like buttons that are here normally are gone because Claude Code doesn't have them. So right now, Alice switches to something like a Claude Code mode. And this is why most of the features, most of your docs and so on are missing here. And there is no way to connect them to the agent that has this ACP mode enabled. But you may at any time disable this ACP mode, and this assistant will become a native Alice assistant, and all the features will be available again for him or her, but you will lose connection with Claude. And it's pretty much everything you need to know. So all the configuration, like skills, like commands, and so on, and agents will be available in the session depending on which directory we will connect to. So yeah.
Cool. Great. Curtis also asked whether this is the way you import Alice settings from another machine. Yes, that's exactly.
Yes, but ensure you need the app is closed when you switch the files, so they will be correctly load when it starts.
Yeah, so you just go to this folder on your system, and then you can copy and paste in place to whatever other computer you want. But have Alice closed and then reopen it, and it will load with all your settings, with all your conversations as well, with all your assistants. This should be all good. Claude Code video to YouTube,
sure.
Please. Yeah, okay. Okay, and I also wanted to show you, if you have any more questions, just put them on the chat. I also wanted to show you how to basically, if you haven't already, I encourage you to work with the tools that we've shown, like multi-agent and of course ImageGen and code interpreters, stuff like this. Artifacts, try them. And also with the MCP servers, of course, you can have a lot of different pretty cool MCP servers. I wanted to actually show you some MCP servers that I got from Patrick, who is helping us with Alice. They're pretty cool. And the first one is a marketing tool. So I'm currently using May, and she has access to this Ads ROI MCP server. And there's plenty of servers that you can access and install. And even on our Discord, if you check our Discord now, here in, I think, where did you put them, Adam? In general or support? I don't know. Somewhere
Sure.
Yeah.
MCP, I guess.
All right. Okay. So here you have two MCP servers from Adam. One to work with linear, and the second one is an MCP that will allow you to.
Yeah, there are 10 more, I guess, on my profile, GitHub profile, but you need to install them on your own, and actually you may follow instruction. Each server is described in like a very detailed way, so there shouldn't be an issue with it, but you need to be at least somewhat technical.
Yeah, but it's not difficult. It's pretty simple and straightforward. So I think that that you guys will manage easily. And
especially with the help of the model AI, you can drop instruction and it will guide you.
Yeah, for those that I'm demoing, I don't think they're like ready to launch, but I think that together with Patrick, we will launch a lot of MCP servers pretty soon, and hopefully they will be very useful. And I think that they should be also enabled in the store. So for the MCP servers as well, there is like quite a workload required on the server side. So if you're, for example, using Adam's server, then he's paying for the server usage and for the calls. So basically, that's why we also were implementing a store idea, so that in future we can have like a micro payments there, so that we can put a lot of MCP servers, and also probably share profit with the authors of those servers. And I pretty much believe that there will be a lot of like super good MCP servers in future that will be available in Alice. For now, the MCP protocol is still pretty new and it's changing quite a lot. But more and more companies are releasing official MCP servers, like Notion, like Linear, like Stripe, and you can access them. And this gives you ability to talk to those tools directly. Okay, so you can easily just ask about your Stripe balance or something like that when you connect the MCP server. And connecting the MCP server is super straightforward. I can even maybe I'll show you how this is configured. Let's have this. I'll configure it once more. Let's delete it. Okay. So basically, if I want to enable this server for May, my marketer, I will go to Tools, I will go to Manage, and then I will add a server. I'll give it a name, for example, Ads. And then I need to make sure that it's connected to the right assistant. So you can connect it to many different assistants or just one if you want. Then in this case, and in most cases, probably you will use the HTTP server type. For local servers, you can use this one as well, but I assume that you'll know what you're doing. But this is HTTP server, so a remote server that will connect to. And here I have the address from Patrick that I'm using. And then all you need to do is just enable this MCP server. If there is some authentication needed, then you will be able to authenticate either with your the advanced configuration using the HTTP headers, and of course this will be on GitHub with the configuration of the server or in the docs, or if this server is using OAuth, for example, Linear, Notion, things like that will require to open a window to just authorize the app, you will enable this. But in this case, I don't need to authorize. I turned it on and I can immediately see that this server is now connected to May. One important thing, if you see not active here, and no matter what you do, it's just always not active, because I see that a lot, it means that you forgot to assign an assistant to this MCP server. So just click on an assistant and then wait, and now it's connected and it has a proper status. So this is a really cool server to demo because it's also using our new way of passing configuration to the server, because in this particular case, May requires some information, and this server needs to get some information, and those information are about the budget of the campaign, cost per click, and stuff like this. And instead of doing a deliberate instruction of how you should provide data for this MCP server for it to work, then we have an ability. If you press / what you have here is this MCP server commands that are connected to the server. So basically, this MCP ads that I've connected automatically loaded something that's called Calculate ROI. And if I click on it, it's a friendly interface that allows me to just fill in the data that I have, and then those will be passed as a prompt, so that the server has correct information that it needs to work with. So we have budget here, we have cost per click, conversion, or and also the average order value. Of course, we don't need to use such interface, and we can just say that my budget is, for example, $20,000, and then I also need the cost per click, which is, let's say, $19, or maybe I don't know, lower, 5. Okay, 5 cost per click. Conversion rates. Let's say that we have 5% conversion. Hold on. Then also I need average order value, and let's say this is I don't know, $100. Okay. And now I've provided all of the important information. And to be honest, I don't think I need to do anything else, because this server is already connected and enabled. And Alice, I think she'll be smart enough, even with this model, to simply run this server. So let's trust it for future. And that was pretty fast. She generated the ROI calculator that I can use inside of Alice as a artifact, you might say. So here I have the key metrics of the campaigns. I have clicks, conversion, revenue, profit, ROI, and break-even budget. So I did pretty well with all those rounded numbers, so that I returned 0. That's fine. That's my usual marketing approach. That's how it ends. But if I lower the costs for click, you can immediately see that I start earning, right? So if I have $425, that's quite a nice profit from the budget. If I increase the budget, you see that I'm earning even more, and the ROI is changing as well. Let's decrease the conversion rate, and I'm under my profit. And then if I increase the conversion rate, then I can see the profit. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool because it's kind of like a really nice approach to have tools inside of the LLM, and it's obviously not a tool that is separate from your whole work, because this data can then be fed into another assistant. You can call May to write a LinkedIn post. You can call someone else to do something else. You can call Steve. Hey, Steve. Call Steve and tell me what he thinks. And of course, he will take into account some of the calculations that I made as well. And the cool thing is that this can be like an entirely separate product that you can create. You can create an MCP server. You can deliver this to Alice or to some other platforms, and then you can benefit from people using it. For example, that might be some kind of calculator, some kind of a tool. There is another tool actually that Patrick did. And he's now telling me what he thinks. And there's another tool that I want to show you, and I think I have it connected already. It's Carbon Audit. So let me just ask to audit, let's say Brave Courses website. And she will now use this MCP server that basically connects to a sustainability service that rates the website. And here is the overview, some comparisons. Here is some kind of like a rating. It's pretty cool because it's like, it looks nice. It can be a badge. Someone can maybe be able to download it, and there can be your logo, and he or she can post it on her website. Or it can be like a form that kind of after an audit about this. This is about carbon dioxide footprint, right? So the carbon footprint is A+ for this website, and it's not like fake. It's taking into account a lot of different measures and calculations, and there is a foundation that that published this open source algorithm that enables to calculate it based on the traffic, on how lightweight is the website and stuff like this. So this might be pretty cool, in terms of maybe creating like a little even marketing tool for your services. If you're building websites, you can distribute this MCP server, and at the bottom you can have a form, or even before you get the result, you can have the form, and basically you can ask someone for an email or something like this, and then offer him services that would basically bring his website to a better rating. This is only the like top of the mountain in terms of like MCP, and it's really great that you have the support. We have the support in Alice for all those tools, and I think that it will be like growing, and there will be many cool tools that will enable, and other users of Alice will enable in the marketplace, in the store. FYI, the instructions for Cloud Code is incorrect, so I don't know. Maybe Alice, maybe Adam, you should take a look about at this. And yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you, and I wanted to encourage you to maybe browse some MCPs, check out Adams. If you look for official MCPs for the tools that you use, you will be able to connect them to Alice. It's super easy, like I've shown you. And then you enable them for an assistant, and the assistant can basically call your tools, or can generate something, or can use the data that you have in HubSpot or Pipedrive or some other place, and can bring them into conversation. And then you can spawn some other agents to basically ping pong the ideas. And one really cool example that I also have that kind of sums it all pretty nicely is the one that Jakub sent me. And let me just play back this to you. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So if you take a look at this, that's a query to Alice to basically reach out to an external service, Raindrop, and there is a file, there's a project called Alice Demo. And Kuba is asking Alice to draw key conclusions and then create an interactive sketch-style demo presentation and write speaker notes. And then he also calls Ellie, Layla, and Blake to co-work on this project. And Ellie, Layla, and Blake are obviously agents inside of Alice, and what they do is they have different tasks. Okay, so Ellie can be a marketer, Layla can be a sales assistant, and Blake can be like a UX designer, right? And so what's happening here, he's using one of the tools for Raindrops, the MCP server, and then he's fetching the websites with Exa MCP, also pretty easy to implement and install, and you can look for information about it on our Discord. And then what he's doing is he's spawning all of the agents. So I now have comprehensive information. Let me spawn the team to work on this together. So he's spawning Ellie and bringing also Layla and also Blake. And you can see that all of those conversations are happening in the same time. So basically all of those agents are working. And then Layla, she's a UX assistant. She's giving the information about the copy and the structure of the slides. And then Ellie is analyzing, this is pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen how to do it in Alice, but you can enable, here you can click on this open canvas or press Command-Shift-G, and then you can see all the information flowing. And if you, like Adam showed you previously, you can split the conversation. And here is the conversation map of everything that's happening. And it's pretty amazing because you can see here clearly here that the work has been routed through the agents, and they are working in the background. And now one agent is creating an artifact, the other ones are sourcing some information, such as the plan of the presentation and UX and slides and stuff like that. And then the final artifact is coming to life. So within like one query, that was literally one message, those agents were able to use 2 different MCP servers to spawn their friends and basically use some friend agents to create a really nice interactive presentation using the artifacts feature. So here we have a presentation about Alice actually, and it works, and it's interactive. You can see that it's kind of like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. And this has been done with just 1 sentence. And then, of course, if those agents, they have separate instructions about, the UX designer has instruction about the style of the presentation that matches your brand. It's not a random thing. Another assistant, another agent has an information about how to write copy for this. And then the speaker notes are also created. So the copy for the presentation actually is created as well in the background, and now you can download it. And next to the presentation itself, you will also have the MD file with the opening, hooks, keynotes, talking points, CTAs, key conclusions, and stuff like that. So this is pretty impressive for me. I think it's super impressive and really wise demo, and what Kuba and Patrick did is really amazing. And people are doing like crazy stuff with Alice. And if you configure everything according to your needs, and you have those agents that have your context, have the information about your companies, have some memories, have some docs, then you can do amazing things, and you can do them very quickly, because you will always be in context with the information that you need. Everything is at your fingertips, and you can perform quick commands, and it will still be really great quality that you get as an output. Okay. From me, that's all. I think that we can talk a lot about some other workflows in Alice and showcase that. But I know you guys are all sleeping by now, so let me know on the chat whether you'd like to talk about something else, or just enable your camera and microphone and let's chat, because we still have some time to kill, and we'll be happy to answer all of your questions. And if you are still here, just let me know how do you like how do you find it all? I mean, do you have any ideas? What do you think about the Alice version 5, and does it match your expectations? What is something that you want from it that we'd have to deliver in the short period? So we're open to any suggestions. And if you don't have them, we'll be happy to also finish a bit earlier. So that's also perfectly fine. I will give you the I will send you the recording, provided you are on Luma. If you're registered via Luma, and I think that all of you did, I will send the recording. I will send the link to YouTube videos that we prepared and presented today. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. Michał, thank you. Adam, do you have anything to add, or?
I don't know, really. I guess it would be all, because but I don't know. I'm just working on the next update. There are some bugs and issues, sometimes on my end, sometimes on provider's end, and some of them are annoying, such as something went wrong and I really don't know what, and it's like, I'm trying to figure it out. And I must say that most of the chat clients, such as Claude, Codex, or Cursor, are working on single provider models, or focuses on a single provider. Maybe Cursor not, but you get the idea. And I can see that, for example, OpenAI, but also Anthropic or Gemini are trying to make their API in a way it is harder to to connect to the multiple providers at once, especially within a single conversation. So yeah, I don't know if this will be a trend or it is just because they are working on a next iteration of their API, but we'll see. So yeah, sorry if you experience any issues with Alice, but I'm doing my best. And I hope that version 5 will bring you much better experience because I put some effort into making this app much more stable over the past few months. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. I hope that you will enjoy using Alice version 5 as much as we do. I hope that you'll check our docs, and you are very welcome to join our Discord if you haven't already. It's been a blast. Thank you very much for spending this time with us. It's pretty late today. To be honest, I had 5 hours of continuous webinars that I led today. So if you heard it, sorry, that's just on my end. But I'm pretty sure that you might have a really nice experience with what we've created if you just try the things that we outlined today. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Michał. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Dom. If you have any questions, we are on Discord. So see you there. Bye-bye.